G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. I am losing my mind a little bit, okay? I just watched England versus Argentina, Pool D, Rugby World Cup 2023, and apparently, he's back. Apparently Johnny Wilkinson has come back out of retirement and is playing for England again. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe what I just watched today, man. George Ford kicked 3 drop goals. He was kicking them from like the 50-meter mark. He had 100% accuracy tonight, and he made it look so easy, right? Punting drop goals over so easy. Argentina thought, hey, we can try that too, and Carreras tried a 50-meter drop goal and completely whiffs it by like a nautic mile, right? And obviously, this is a strategy that we've seen before. 1999, Yanni De Beer, the great South African fly half, did this to England, ironically. And what, 24 years later, England's like, yeah, let's bring that out of the playbook and try rescue England out of this drought. It suddenly makes all sense, right? Like, if you've been practicing drop goals during your, training, you don't really want to show that during the warm-up matches. And obviously, all of your warm-up matches are going to be horrendous because you're not allowed to score. You don't know how to score with any other methods because this is your primary strategies from drop goals and penalty goals, right? So yeah, that was actually very well executed strategy. And everything that England did was trying to put the high balls into locations where they could force a penalty. They did really well, putting out those contestable kicking game. Maybe I should show the score first. 27-10. England was like putting out a lot of this really contestable high balls. George Ford was pinpoint accurate in those ball games. And then they just literally play the game without a ball. Did I mention? England had a red card. It wouldn't be an English performance without a red card these days. So who was it? Tom Curry, actually. Tom Curry gets himself sent off with a high tackle, head-on-head clash under a high ball. I think it was Malia that got hit with a head clash, and then Tom Curry gets red carded. So with the play off the field, England you wouldn't even know that England was playing with a player in the bin, just because the strategy was executed so perfectly. So they would just put up high balls from basically inside their own, like around the 10-meter mark inside their own half, into the opposition 10-meter mark, basically like a 20-meter high ball. And then instead of getting one player, right? Instead of getting like one player to contest it, as you normally would, like the All Blacks did, right? They try to put like 3 or 4 players all up in the line. And as soon as the tackle is made and they just get everyone to attack the breakdown and try to force a penalty. And that has yielded so many penalties for England, just attacking the breakdowns this game. And really just allow the scoreboard to be chipped over constantly. And Argentina was like afraid to run the ball out of was afraid to have the ball. If you try to run the ball, because anywhere inside their own half, any sort of penalties, anytime you have the ball in your own half, you can be, giving out penalties and giving out 3 points immediately. And if Argentina wasn't giving out 3 points, George Ford just goes, hey guys, give us the ball. I'll just kick this one over anyway with a drop goal. So that was incredibly impressive. And by the way, is George Ford actually human? He does not smile. He kicked 24 points this game? He did not smile a single time. 27? No, 27. He kicked every point in this game, I'm pretty sure. Let's just double check. Point summary. Yeah, he kicked every point in this game, and he did not smile at all. Even when he came off the field, right? You come off the field, your teammates are giving you high fives, patting you in the back, and still no smile, okay? He's probably a cyborg, but yeah. Make sure, can we just please check, make sure he's actually human? But that was very impressive, George Voss. Honestly, hats off to you, mate. And and then in the opposite end, the Argentinians actually played the wrong strategy against the England team that had a player in the bin. So there should be space, right? If there's a player in the bin, there should be space in the defensive line. But Argentina was drawn into the kicking game themselves. And the whole point of like a high ball kicking game, right, the way England's employing it, like you put up a high bomb, what you're trying to do with that high bomb is to isolate somebody, right? Put them in a, in a 1-on-3 defensive position, maybe in a 1-on-1 position. And that really plays into England's situation because they have a play in the bin. So if they isolate somebody, having a play in the bin is not really that much of an issue against England. Whereas Argentina, when they try to do the high ball, they have a player advantage. They're actually neutralizing their own advantage for having, an extra player on the field because you're isolating somebody where you're putting up one or two guys maybe to try to challenge that. In fact, most times Argentina put up one player to challenge that. So you put them in a 1-on-1 position when you have 14 other players looking at 13 players, and they're not able to utilize that advantage, right? So Argentina is playing the high ball game that is to their detriment, whereas England is playing the game to manage that one red card, and they managed it so perfectly. Like nobody even mentioned there was a red card for the entire game, pretty much, and it's just a testament of how well the English team drill this strategy and how well George Ford play this game. And he was just looking he was just so calm, so collected, pinpoint accurate the whole game. It's just absolutely spectacular. And when it comes to the set piece and set piece, I thought it was quite even. England really didn't have to do any sort of set moves at all. In fact, they just literally the most basic style of rugby, and then high ball, and then try to attack the breakdowns. It's all just attack the breakdowns. All of their offense is defense, right? And once again, the Argentinians was exposed similarly as they were against the Springboks. That the rush defense is another, again, a big issue for the Argentinians. They were just getting pushed back by the defense. The England was gaining territory for not even having the ball. Who knew the best offense is having a good defense, okay? That rings true more than ever in rugby today. And that England once again showed that, without the ball, they were gaining territory just from the defensive pressure they're putting on the Argentinians. And once they get the penalty, they get the 3 points on the ball for themselves. And it was just superbly played as well. Argentina, I did notice that their attack line, one of the main issues, the rush defense was so effective, is that they start flat, right? And then because Argentina isn't giving Carreras any options except just the flat line. And what happens is when you have a flat line, the rush defense starting pushing you back a little bit, right? And then you start, and then Argentina's going, okay, well look, we're actually not getting over to the advantage line because we're too flat. So they started getting deeper, right? They started to set up the line way deeper. And as they start sitting on deeper, they actually go back further and faster because the English defense is rushing up on them. Yes, you are getting forward a little bit when you get the ball. You're having a bit of a runner, but because you were so deep, you still end up losing territory. And the issue is not because they're not deep enough. The issue is it's so predictable. Carreras has just one target. You have what? He looks around, it's one line. He can probably throw the ball to the first receiver, maybe a cutout, and maybe a long ball further out. And that's all easily marked by the England defense. And then it's just so easily, stifled. And Argentina was just, again, there was, and that was there. And then they try to, so that forces them to play the kicking game, which neutralizes the whole advantage of having a play in the having a red card against England. So it was just, it was really, really well played by England, putting, and really neutralized Argentina to the, utmost effect. That was just superbly done by the English. And rush defense. Yeah, so with that being said, let's just go through some match stats. Argentina did score the one try right at the end, where you almost felt like England kind of gave up, kind of just went, happy to just walk away with the win. Argentina not faltering their efforts, they really give it at 100%. But I think strategically that really wasn't able to find I think strategically Argentina was outplayed. And once again, ironically, Michael Cheika falters to England at the Rugby World Cup to the kicking game. Same thing happened in 2019 when he was coaching the Wallabies. Lost to Eddie Jones to the kicking game, and once again, this is a completely different style of a kicking game. He once again wasn't able to handle that. Wasn't able to come up with a strategy to deal with that. So yes, these stats you can see run meters. We saw 500 run meters, 700 run meters in the Wallabies game against Georgia. 225 very low run meters for England. 307 very low for Argentina. Argentina's run meters was actually due to the rush defense, but England was really able to stifle that. You can see Argentina actually has way more carries than England, and still not able to get that many run overs. Turnovers here. This is the key area where England really put the pain on the Argentina, but let's make this bigger. 15 turnovers conceded for Argentina, 8. A lot of these were just forced errors from the rush defense, knock-ons, turnovers at the breakdowns, just attacking the breakdowns, aggressively attacking the breakdowns, the English forward. I did notice one thing that was really weird. So apparently there was a story that came out that Ben Earls, the number 8 for England, was dropped from the team. I don't know, what was it? A drop from the team or fallen out of favor from the team, because apparently during training, one of the training runs where he got the ball and he kicked it down the sideline, and apparently the coach was not happy about it, and then that was that was the speculation that why he got dropped. Apparently, okay, that was the story. Turns out that was not the reason. Turns out that's what they were planning to do. And the reason he wasn't playing in the trial matches or whatever is because they don't want people to see that as a strategy. Okay? It all makes sense suddenly, because today, multiple times, he had the ball, whether it be as a number 8, whether it be, scooping the ball up as a number 8 from the back of the scrum, number of times where he ran down the blind side and he just grab and kicked the ball down the sideline. He did that number of times today, and he actually found a pretty nice kick into the 22 from that. And the kind of that's why he was dropped, because England didn't want to reveal that, and it was quite interesting to see that they actually tried get Ben Earls, number 8, to do these sort of kicking games. But yeah, so that's something that I noticed as well. Defensively, England was excellent. 148 tackles, 23 missed tackles. Argentina didn't have to do many tackles at all because England was kicking the ball. Was utilizing the high ball a lot. 85 tackles, 12 missed tackles. Kicks in play, like you can see here, 43 kicks in play for England. 21 for Argentina. Completely got outclassed there in the kicking game. And really, the rush defense was just way too good for Argentina to even break through at all, despite having a player in the bin. So 43 kicks for England, 21 for Argentina. Penalty goals. Apparently there was 2 missed. Actually, yeah, no, you're right. George Ford got 100% of the goal kicks. There was 2 long-range kicks that was missed by Elliot Daly. Yeah, and I was criticizing the England team. I was like, why would you have Elliot Daly on the wing? He was just set to do the goal kicks, man. He hardly touched the ball as a winger. I mean, I thought, he would why would you put someone so slow on the wing? Because he's not required to run the ball at all, right? He's not required to touch the ball. Okay, he's just there to do these long-range kicks and miss 2 goals. Honestly. But yeah, that was 2 goals missed by Elliot Daly. George Ford actually landed every kick. Even the 2 drop goals were literally on the 50-meter mark. He was still just popping them over extremely comfortably, extremely easily. And yeah, very impressive. Argentina tried 1 drop goal because they were like, it looks so easy. Let's try it for ourselves. And it was really, really bad. So they had 1 penalty goal that was missed, a long-range one by Bofelli. But again, I just felt Argentina, they had a player advantage. They really just didn't get anything out of that 1 red card. They really didn't go for and it was a forward as well. They didn't really go for the line-out Morse. They didn't really execute that. The scrum was even. England just put I think England put one of the backs in the scrummaging. I think they just added an extra person in the scrummaging anyway. They didn't really care. And yeah, still not an issue there for the scrum. So yeah, it was just, yeah, the Argentinians have a lot to think about after this game. 4 line-out lost. Mauri Toji was actually really good this game as well. He's been very quiet for a very long time now, and he was very good. He got a couple of turnovers and breakdowns. 4 lineouts lost by Argentina, got stolen. That is really bad as well, especially when you're against 1 missing forward. How could you lose 4 lineouts when you against so many missing forwards? There was a interesting scrum battle as well. There were so England lost to. There was one England scrum win. I should know for sure where one of I think it was Dan Cole popped someone out in the scrum in the second half. But there was also a couple penalties given out against England for essentially collapsing the scrum, and there was like a short arm for engaging early. But overall, I thought the scrum was quite even, especially considering England's missing a forward, right? So that was, again, something that Argentina probably should have dominated, considering the situation they were in. Penalties conceded 7. Again, England very disciplined. They just knew the game plan, kept the discipline, attacked the breakdowns. 7 penalties given away. There was one red card, like I said, unfortunate head clash tackle. Just got his timing wrong. And then Argentina, 13 penalties conceded, 1 yellow card themselves. Who got the yellow card for Argentina? I think it was, Carreras got a yellow card for a charge down where he hit George Ford in the head in the process. But yeah, that was only a yellow card. And 13 penalties conceded. Almost, a lot of that got turned into 3 points. So yeah, that's the stats. Let's quickly go through some of the interesting stuff that happened in this test match. So yeah, actually again, this match was actually, I thought there was gonna be way more cards right from the beginning, because right away Tom Curry gets a head clash and he gets sent off for a yellow card, and then it was revealed that the TMO is Marius Jonker. All right, and I thought this guy's just gonna be ringing the referee like his referee's girlfriend, and trying to find out where he is all the time and just give him advice on how to do his job, right? I thought that was going to happen, but luckily, Marius Jonker didn't do that at all. He actually did, was quite good this game, I guess. For not doing anything, yes, it's good for TMO to not do anything. But anyway, at the beginning, I thought it was going to be one of those games, and then Marius Jonker, 3 minutes in the game, essentially, Tom Curry, high shot. Malia landed as he's caught a high ball, and then Tom Curry head on head collision by accident, sends off, yellow card. I knew there was probably going to be a red. So the Argentina takes a 3 point. This was a 50-meter penalty goal. They give themselves 3 points on the goal. 6 minutes into the game, England gives away another penalty. Laws got penalized for a bit technical penalty, hands on the ground. They go for another 50 plus. This was 5 meter longer, and they miss. Argentina barely misses this one. So still 3-0. 9 minutes into the game, the Carreras yellow card occurs. He tries to charge down a kick by Ford, and then he bumps into Ford with his hip onto the Ford's head. Very gentle. I thought pretty much blocked it, but he was still sent off for a yellow card. So 3-0. England kicked this penalty. 3-0. 9 minutes into the game, and then there was and then 15 minutes into the game, England was penalized a short arm for a scrum, and then England kind of recovers the ball a bit later, and this is just a few minutes later, Ben Earl gets his first kicking attempt into the game. He did a little grubber down the sideline into the short side. He went the blind side, just grubber down behind. He was when I saw that, I was like, pretty sure. I was like, well, that was something that they'd be doing in training, right? That kind of ticked in my head. 21 minutes into the game, Choco Barras kicks a really nice 50-22. And that was, one of the opportunities Argentina had to score a try. So they're piling the pressure to go for the maul. The maul was stifled. Just piling pressure, pick and go, short ball, crashing balls. And eventually Gaggio crashes over and he drops the ball. Yeah, really, really. He looked like he scored, but he drops the ball in the process. So really missed that opportunity for Argentina. But Argentina did have an opportunity to go for another penalty. So they go for they all set up a wall and pop the ball to the wall and then do like a little trick play with people with the back turned. But even with that even with that little play, the defense read quite well. But England, literally one phase later, calling laws, turns the ball over at the breakdown. Yeah. 26 minutes into the game, England was just running inside the Argentina halfway, just inside the halfway, so 40 something meters out. Nothing was happening. And then the ball goes to George Ford. Nobody was expecting this. It just slots a 45 plus meter drop goal out of nowhere. And you're just like, wow, that's impressive. You're just sort of thinking, yeah, okay, I can, sometimes people just do that. You've seen this before, right? People like run out of options and everybody's a bit bored, not sure what to do. And then number 10 just goes, all right, I'll take a drop goal and let's just carry on. He slots this one, right, quite easily. And then the 28 minutes into the game, the Argentinian player Gaggio gets penalized for holding a player in the ground to try to get him to try to milk a penalty. This was a 55-meter penalty. Elliot Daly misses this one. 30 minutes into the game, once again, it was just like the team was just like going nowhere, and you're just like I was almost just like, you're just looking at this England team, you're thinking to yourself, what are you even gonna do? Like, you're literally not going anywhere. Like, what's your exit plan here? Ball goes out to George Ford. He's standing on the 50-meter mark. He slots another drop goal. Yeah. And then at this point, everybody's recognizing what is happening. This is England's strategy, is to just kick penalties and kick drop goals at the Rugby World Cup. And the form that George Ford was showing here was just absolutely spectacular. Like, he looked like Johnny Wilkinson right there. Like, I was like, wow. Like, it was impressive. It was really impressive. And at this point, the rush defense from the England is starting to give Argentina more and more trouble. Argentina saw how easy the English was kicking these drop goals. Thought, hey, maybe it's just that easy. They set up a 50-meter drop goal themselves, and and then what's his name? Carreras misses this one. 36 minutes in the first half, there was another penalty for for England. They kicked the ball out, and it was like just inside Argentina half. The England basically go for the line out. They set up a more, and then the ball comes out straight to George Ford. 50-meter once again, standing on the line, pops this one straight through. Absolutely perfect technique, straight through. And it's just like, and at this point, I started to think is Yanni De Beer back on the field? What's going on? Is he playing for England? And that was another one for England just before halftime. It made it look so easy, man. And the halftime, so that was halftime. Second half starts 44 minutes into the game. Again, Ben Earls gets the ball. There was a scrum. He picks up the ball from the scrum, and then he runs down the blind side, and once again he kicks the ball behind. And you're starting to think that this has to be a move that England has been practicing. So the reports were just completely wrong, or at least like a misdirection sort of strategy to try to get people to ignore what they were doing in training with Ben Earls. But he's clearly been told to do these scrubber kicks behind down the blind side. The England, following this kick, England did manage to get themselves a offside penalty. So another 3 points for George Ford, 15 points to 3. 52 minutes into the game, England rush defense was actually just pushing the Argentinians back very effectively. And Argentina was penalized for off their feet. And England kicks another one, 18 points to 3. George Ford kicks another one, 18 points to 3. 57 minutes into the game, another high ball by England. Again, the bounce was, was a bit weird. And what's his name? Julian Montoya tackles a player from the offside position. And another penalty for England. George Ford pops this one through again. 21 points to 3. Ben Earls is showing a lot of work this game. He's just working really, really hard at the breakdown. And one of the, you can tell, like, there was one tackle he did really well where he flipped the Argentinian player like on his back and then just jackled immediately over him. Like, that's kind of led me to think that, you kind of been told as a kid, the ground is your friend. You kind of just go to the ground and make sure you land in a good body position and you can sort of release the ball. And Ben Earls did really well to just mess it up for the Argentinian ball carriers and just really flip them back on their back and get them in a really bad position to release the ball. He did that, and then he gets a penalty for England. There was another 50-plus meter penalty. Elliot Daly tries for another kick, and he completely missed, and it was short as well. 63 minutes into the game, England gets a massive scrum penalty. He pops out. One of the Argentina reserve props gets his head popped out. George Ford, this was way out of range. So George Ford, this was like 60 meters, right? George Ford kicks this one down, and the ball landed 1 meter away from the try line and like went out. So England gets a 5 meter line out from this penalty that was like 60 meters away. So the England goes for the maul. It was defended. And then there was a lot of crash balls. And then Julian Montoya gets penalized for not rolling away at the breakdown. And George Ford says, I'll take another easy 3, 24 points to 3. 68 minutes into the game, Argentina finally get themselves into the England half with a lot of forward momentum. Gajo is literally the only one that made a line break this game, it feel like. He was off the field and had a bit of a break. Was put back onto the field due to like a blood bin. And he just carved up the England defense. Multiple carries in this series got the Argentinas right into the danger zone of the England trial, near the England try line. And then Pablo Matera crashes the ball over the try line and gets held up. Yeah, really good defense once again by England. 73 minutes into the game, another high ball by Danny Kerr. And Argentina, again, gets the ball, and then they flood the breakdowns, and it was penalized for off their feet. Yeah, and then England, George Ford says, I'll take this one. He kicks another one through, 27 points to 3. And it looked like he was going to get off the field already, but he was just like, Marcus Smith just ready to come on. But he just kicked this one just to come off the field to absolutely zero emotions, no smiling, absolutely zero. Looked like somebody had died in his family. He's at a funeral. And and you wouldn't even think that he's actually playing a rugby game, that he's winning, right? So he's coming off. Everybody else is smiling. And he's just like zero emotions. 79 minutes of the game, finally, just before the end of the game, Argentina gets a consolation prize. England was really looking like they're really lazy. The rush defense has kind of start slowing down a lot. Argentina was able to get over the advantage line. And then eventually they got close to the try line, and Bruni, coming off the bench as the impact player, goes over for the try. I'm pretty sure Argentina has an extra forward on the bench as well. So despite the red card missing forward and Argentina playing an extra forward, that brutality that up front from Argentina was just not there. And England was able to cope just fine with the player missing and with the with just 5 forwards on the bench as well. And winning that, George Ford, yeah. Someone please make sure that he's actually human, please. Like, I'm pretty sure he's an android, man. Like, there's no human being on the planet able to come out with that kind of performance and not even put on a smile, walking off the field. So please, just please check. Like, think that's very suspicious. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm extremely tired, and thanks all the guys that donated money and support me with their hard-earned cash. I really appreciate it, especially with the inflation these days. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Springbok game. I will be commentating that as well, so you tune in, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.